I got hoes in different area codes. Oh yeah. Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Monk Luigi and welcome to the temple. As you saw by the thumbnail, I have definitely a news article to talk about. But before we get into this one, if you could, please like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification button so that way you know when I have new videos coming up and I'm uploading, so that way you're aware of what's going on in the temple. Now, as you saw by the thumbnail, wow, I saw this news article when I was going to the bodega to get some food. And luckily I was able to find this online, so let's go ahead and dive right into this article. New York City sex workers rampant in open air prostitution market amid lax enforcement. Now this article in particular is very long, so I'm not going to go into that. However, I do want to play this video because I think it's very important. So I'm going to play the video here, and then I'm going to go ahead and give my thoughts from my scrolls of what's going on, and have some references and articles. And as you know, all of these references will be in the description box down below. So let's go ahead and jump right into this video here. And as you can see, this is something that is going on in New York City. Yeah, it's crazy. And in the article, they have more pictures that show a little bit more stuff. So hopefully that's not too bad. I'm gonna lower it a little bit so that way YouTube copyright doesn't really kick in. But yeah, as you can see, and remember that name, District Attorney Eric Gonzalez. So this is definitely interesting. So yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Yep. This is a thing, guys. This is a thing. So, as you can see in the video, New York sex workers are running rampant in New York City. This is an interesting thing. All right. I don't want to go too far in because, as I said, this article here shows a little bit too much. A little bit too much in there, so I didn't want to jump all the way in. But I do have, as I said before, I wanted you to remember the name of the District Attorney of Brooklyn. His name is Mr. Eric Gonzalez. Now this I want to read because there's a specific section he goes into on the reason why him in particular is not cracking down on the prostitutions in New York City. So I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more so that way you can see his direct quote, so that way I don't misquote the DA Gonzalez. District Attorney Gonzalez said, "I decided to take this action for several reasons. First, and most obviously, it doesn't make sense for someone to have an outstanding warrant for something we no longer prosecute. But beyond that, these warrants have powerful negative consequences for the individual, and they undermine public safety because someone with an open warrant is subject to arrest at any time. Those engaged in the selling of sex are more likely to be driven underground and be less likely to report the abuse or other crimes, which makes both them and others less safe. An outstanding warrant could show up years after it was issued in a background check for an apartment rental or a job application, hamstringing someone's ability to move on from their past to a more stable and less dangerous way of life." So that's coming from the Brooklyn DA. Now, for the record, so give my early thoughts on this. I am all for allowing the hoes to do what the hoes do throughout our country. All right? Let the hoes be hoes. I'm okay with it. I am absolutely okay with the hoes being hoes. And quite frankly, for the people that are upset at the police not cracking down on this, well, this is the district attorneys that y'all voted for. And he's not the only one. There's a Manhattan DA as well, who initially went forward with doing this. Now I'll buy it, and I'm scrolling through it slowly. The only problem I have with these DAs not cracking down on the prostitutes is that in their testimonials and in their statements, they go on record stating that, yeah, they're not going to prosecute the LGBTQ community or any of the prostitutes that are female or whatever in their cases. However, the patrons will still be prosecuted. So if you still partake as a heterosexual person, I think specifically towards the males, if you decide to buy or participate in this thing, then you can still be prosecuted by the district attorneys in Manhattan and in Brooklyn, which is not, that's the problem I have with this, okay? If you're gonna make this okay for any of the prostitutes that are doing this, then you should make it okay for those who are patronizing into this thing. I'm not okay with the fact that you're gonna go ahead and you're just gonna say, okay, yeah, well, you're a prostitute, and you have all these ailments and mental issues and all these other problems with you, so we're just gonna let you go and give you a slap on the wrist. Meanwhile, hey, you paid for services rendered, so you know what? You're gonna go to jail. Okay? I'm not for it. Okay? Make it equal all the way through. In fact, just legalize prostitution. Legalize the hoes. Let the hoes be hoes. Okay? You ain't gonna go. They're not gonna go anywhere. In fact, like, just because nobody loves hoes or respect hoes, people like these hoes. And hoes have done a lot for our history. In fact, there was an article that I came across where in New York itself, there was a society, the Moral Reform Society, based in New York, issued a statement in 1835. Lets the condemnation of the guilty of our sex remain entire, but let not the most guilty of the two to deliberate, destroy, or female innocence be afforded, even an apron of fig leaves to conceal the blackness of his crimes. And this reference 6. And again, all of these articles that I'm pulling from, as you can see, it says the history of prostitution, will be in the description box, so you can go over these articles yourself. But women in history doing this trade have paid for numerous cities and states to be built. I would even argue they probably did a lot more than the people who do gang-related activities involving drugs and stuff, where they actually gave contributions back to the cities and the denizens. Like one madam even rebuilt an entire school. But sadly, they came out with all of these rules, like the Prohibition Act of 1919, to put on a squeeze on those who were being in this trade. And again, I don't know why they would go after people who be hoes. Like, you're not going to get rid of the red light district in its entirety. In fact, I would even argue that the red light district went to OnlyFans, because everybody's doing OnlyFans. Even millionaire ladies are doing OnlyFans. So you might as well just make it legal city and statewide, because that would save a lot of cities and a lot of states, everything. But Monk, how is the city and the state going to be able to tax it? Well, if you have buildings specifically to brothels, you can tax the crap out of all of the people there. You can literally tax all the patrons there. You can tax all the people who are buying there, and shoot, you would make even the porn industry go up, because then you can charge for people to do videos in New York City that's doing all of those sexual proclivities, and which call it make money off of that. And you could tax all that stuff off. So it's not like the city would lose money. In fact, I think it would generate more money. And hey, don't take it from me. You can take it from our own Governor Cuomo, who's complaining about, oh, I need the wealthy to come back to New York. Come on, guys. Come on, man. Why you leaving? Why you trying to leave New York City? We need you to come on back. Because the millionaires don't want to stay. So I'm like, yo, hold up. Wait a minute now. You want the millionaires to come back to a city that taxes heavily and needs all of this money and budgets for everything. But you're telling me that you won't allow brothels and stuff like that to come in? I mean, if you build it, I'm pretty sure a lot of these millionaires would come back, especially if it's high-end brothels. And Just make it exclusive. Now, you know, this thought came to me as I was trying to create this video. I was like, well, because I know somebody's going to say, but what about the STDs and how people getting all these STDs? Well, if people are already doing checks for vaccinations for the C-19, why not have people who participate in these brothels carry cards that say that they've been STD checked every 30 to 60 days? Why not? Right? Anybody that doesn't have these IDs can't come to the brothels. That could be a rule. That could be a state and federal law. And if this person, like if this person, whether they want to be undercover so that way nobody knows that they're trying to go there, but they're or those who are okay and flamboyant with it and they don't really care about it, those who want to be hidden when they participate in this stuff, then they still have to have some type of ID or form that directly identifies them, so that way if they decide to give if they pop up positive or they given one of the people who the prostitutes STD, they can be tagged and like, yo, you screwed up my business, and they can be sued because that's ruining the business. So I'm just saying, if you can see 19 people with their cards, then let people who they get the STD checks, so that way they have a card of their own to be like, hey, I can come to this brothel, I could pay for play. Why not let it be legal, so that way that can make a whole bunch of money. It would generate a lot of money. I think one of the madams, when she donated, like she sold her building, in Seattle, I think they turned it into a hospital. So why not just let it be legal? So that's just my thoughts on this. I mean, just let hoes be hoes. People already being hoes. In fact, they had the whole slut walk. So if they're having slut walks and stuff like that, and women are open and free and stuff, let these women be hoes. Remember though, if you act like a hoe, you'll be treated like a hoe. And no one really respects hoes, but we like these hoes. And nobody loves these hoes. No one marries these hoes. Just saying. So that's just my thoughts on this. I think that this is something that should be okay. But hey, maybe I'm off base. Maybe I'm hitting this one and it's coming to a short stop. Maybe it's no, Monk Luigi, no. You shouldn't have brothels. It's not an okay thing, okay? Females and girls should not become hoes. You shouldn't be actively promoting it, even though they promoted themselves with BET and MTV and music videos, even though they promoted themselves for every award, even though they promoted themselves with World Star. Or maybe I'm knocking this one out of the park. Let these hoes be hoes. Give them ability to become hoes legally, and that way the state and the city can tax it respectfully, and people wouldn't have to worry about it being night walkers. So instead of having them out in the streets walking around the nights at specific boulevards, they're in this nice beautiful building lavishly set up for them, and then you could just tax the crap out of them. Hey, either way, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below, and please remember, my name is Monk Luigi, and this L is for you.